My name is Tres Malvado. I have been married to Joanna for almost 30 years. My favorite asset is my Azimuth 70 yacht. It is 70 feet long and costs about $1.5 million. I love sailing the open waters and plan to live out my retirement sailing from port to port. These plans used to include Joanna, but now I'm actively interviewing potential dates. For the last 60 days, I have been busy making plans to separate from my wife. At times during my marriage, I wondered if Joanna was faithful. If that's not the case, then it's certainly hard for me to complain. Joanna tries her best to please me sexually. Once I found out about her lover, or should I say one of her lovers, or maybe her current lover. I faked a medical problem to prevent her from sexually harassing me. I am STD-free and intend to remain so. I own and am actively involved in a software company. The business is very brisk and quite profitable. About 6 months ago, I decided it was time to find a buyer for my business and retire. My lawyer, Jim Parco, is a college classmate of mine. We barely knew each other at the time, but I started using it a few years after starting my business. We were at his parties and they were at ours. About 3 months ago, negotiations to liquidate my company gained momentum. The proposed contracts have already bounced back and forth several times. In Jim's office, I was looking through the latest copy of Redline. After spending an hour thinking about the changes, we stopped for a while. What other projects keep you busy, Jim? Helped the junior partner on a voluntary basis. As disgusting as it may sound, he got the Hendricks twins' sentencing suspended. Good legal work, but unpleasant nonetheless. They have been released on bail, but a retrial has already been scheduled. Are these the guys who raped the 2 couples? Yes. They stole an SUV containing the couple and terrorized them for over 48 hours. All 4 suffered permanent damage to most parts of their bodies. Lots of cuts and burns. Lots and lots of burns. Let's hope that this time justice will prevail. I think it will be so. The new judge will probably be aware of what happened the first time. I also helped another colleague with some small work for a convention center and hotel. With attorney-client issues, I can't go into detail. I'm going to the toilet. There is a DVD player on that computer there. You can copy there. With a strange movement, Jim opened the folder and placed it in the middle of the table. The folder was pointing at me. Couple that with his weird remark on the DVD, and I was more than a little confused. Jim ran out the door without looking back. Curiosity took over. I stood up and looked at the folder. The top photo showed a woman on the ground and a frightened hotel worker with a cart. Jim's behavior confused me. I looked at the photo again, and my stomach dropped. In the background, a couple was waiting for the elevator and looked around at the noise. The lady in this pair is Joanna. I have no idea who this person is. I copied the date and time of the photo. I definitely need my investigator to check this out. There was a DVD in the folder. Based on Jim's comment, I think I should copy this. Having started the copying process, I sat down again with confused thoughts. I had just put the disc back in the folder when Jim came into the room. Can I put this folder away, Trez? Yeah. Looks like I have some homework, Jim. Leaving Jim's office, I contacted Roger, the private investigator my brother had used in his divorce. He began searching for damning evidence. I probably don't want to know how Roger came up with this, but I had a copy of the insurance investigation report. While I was reading the report, I quickly watched the DVD I made in Jim's office. After synchronization, the report became much easier to understand. The insurance claim on my screen was from a luxury hotel in the convention complex. They were sued after a repairman pushed his work cart into an elderly lady. This is usually solved using surveillance cameras. I read the worker's transcribed report and chuckled. I was just going down to the lobby and this beauty with hammers like bowling balls was bouncing towards me. I just couldn't take my eyes off her melons and, damn it, I crashed into the old lady. I watched the video and ended up laughing out loud. I was watching Miss Bowling's balls so closely that I didn't notice the accident. I backed up the video and watched it carefully. Of course, like a mechanical soldier on watch, the worker's head slowly followed the bowling balls, and the little old lady didn't stand a chance. I started creating a timeline. In one of the still frames, waiting by the elevator, I found my wife. She walked arm in arm with a man I didn't know. Joanna has a tattoo on her forearm that she loves to show off, which is why she always wears sleeveless blouses. I had no doubt that it was her. I had video all day. I found that they left after about 2 hours. Her hair was no longer as well-groomed as before. I felt pretty stupid. How could I have missed the clue? This video is from a few months ago, and I'm not naive enough to believe that I caught her the one time she got lost. I decided to slow down the process by not filing for divorce. I will liquidate and start floating around the world without Joanna. In a year, she will have to apply for a waiver. I don't mind having to share some assets, but I'll be damned if I'm going to share the income of my software company. Roger's first report took about a week. Bad news and more bad news. We don't know who the guy in the video is. We know that other than that incident, Joanna had sex with Charlie Andrews. She and Charlie use our beach house. Charlie used to belong to Gray Lakes Country Club, where I am a board member. He's divorced, and his wife has hyped him up so much that now he can't afford a country club. Makes me wonder if Joanna was the slut who was behind his downfall. I made an appointment with the doctor. I explained that I did not want to have sex with Joanna, and that I would like to be tested for sexually transmitted diseases. He told me about an over-the-counter drug called ketoconazole, which dramatically slows down arousal. I could have tricked Joanna by telling her that my ED was caused by a combination of medications. If Joanna wanted to frolic, I wouldn't be able to answer. Randy's reports showed that my slut wife was having sex with Charlie once, sometimes twice a week. It turns out that Charlie wasn't the only one this slut had sex with. Tim Stark, who was sitting with me in the club, also fucked her. His ass got fried when his wife chewed his ass off for simply flirting. After a few weeks, with my manly tool limp, Joanna completely stopped trying to have sex with me. I stopped taking my medications. Finally, the sale of my business was completed. Jim arranged the sale in such a way that all proceeds were deposited out of the reach of the U.S. government. Jim also created several shell corporations for me. I sold my yacht to one of the shell corporations. A few more sales before it was sold to the corporation that owned my software income. I paid off the yacht loan and divided the remaining money between my children. Friday will be my last day before handing over the keys to the new business owners. 4 more days until the start of my new life. Trez, I need you to watch and listen to today's video. How about Cottonwood Park? Meet me at the lake. I will be there. It will take me no more than 15 minutes. There weren't many people in the park. I approached Roger. Hey, Roger, why are we snooping around here? As soon as you hear this, you will understand everything. He turned on the video on his phone. It all started when Joanna and Charlie walked into our beach house. Don't watch this crap. Let me fast forward. Somewhat funny to watch at high speed. Joanna's head bobbed up and down, placing her legs on his shoulders. My legs are numb. Charlie attacked Joanna. Pump, 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 then roll off. Roger slowed down the recording. Charlie and Joanna, lying on the bed, started talking. Are you ready to do this weekend, baby? Yes. On Saturday, Tresk and I are going on his favorite small boat. Your idea of pumping him up with this date rape thing is perfect. I rented a boat. I'll follow you. As soon as it turns off, use mini flashlights. I'll dock and come on board. Are you sure you know how to turn off the engines? I think so, Joanna answered quickly. Once on board, we can pull it onto the deck and throw it overboard. I'll have some date rape after this. Wonderful. I'll take us a few miles away from his body and then turn off the engines. After this, I will take my boat back to the marina and then anonymously report the boat as drifting. When they find your boat, you will remain unconscious. Convince them to test you, and they'll find a date rape drug. Tell them cash and jewelry are missing. Joanna leaned over and kissed Charlie. On Sunday evening, you can make love to a rich widow. My head was spinning. I had to get to them before they got to me. I was reminded of a line from a spaghetti western. If you're going to shoot, shoot. Don't talk. Don't do anything stupid, Tress. She's not worth it, Roger warned me. Give me the amount of your bills. I need to pay by Saturday. Send me all the videos by email. Can I wait until Friday to call the police about this video? I plan to leave some money to help Joanna forget about me. I changed my mind and divided them between the children. I'll have Roger send them the damn video as soon as I sail into the setting sun. If they themselves want to help their mother, so be it. My advertisement on the internet for a set of sea companions was met by many women who wanted to go sailing. The accompanying photographs and videos were quite erotic. I asked them to write me a 2-page rationale for why I should choose them. Those who couldn't put 2 sentences together found a delete button. If I'm going to be alone with a woman, she better be able to hold a conversation. I arranged 2 interviews to take place on board the yacht. The first was doubtful from the very beginning. Are you ready to leave your old life for a month? What do you have in mind? While on board, you will have no contact with anyone other than me. You can rent a locker and leave all your electronic gadgets. I'm not ready for this. Thank you for your time. And she got off the boat. But the second lady, Natalie, looked like she was maybe in her 40s. I'm sure she wasn't wearing a bra. Her smile was pleasant. I gave her the same warning about electronics. Well, if you're going to kill me, then having gadgets won't really matter, will it? That's it. And do you know what is required of you? I cook, clean, and stew, as I suspect. You cook, you clean, and I won't force you. Your interview includes a test drive. Natalie smiled, showing off her breasts. While you're here, let's go downstairs. I'm clean. I brought the results of an STD test I took a few weeks ago. I was tested a couple of months ago, and I'm clean too. Our sex was successful. What do you think, Captain? She asked. Be here at dawn on Saturday. Bring all the feminine things you need. I will have all the food and drink loaded and ready for departure. Where are we going? I pointed to the ocean. There's that wave, and then we'll follow the stars. Cool. After Natalie left, it occurred to me that I felt no guilt or regret about cheating on Joanna. It's funny how love turns to hate and then turns to indifference so quickly. On Thursday, I went to a beach house that was less than an hour away. Joanna doesn't do anything without pouring herself some wine. There I found several bottles of her favorite wine. Having removed all but one, I added some sleeping pills and replaced the plug. This should be enough to incapacitate them, and they should recover within a few hours. I put her rotten belly back on the shelf. I canceled our joint health insurance policy, turning mine into an individual one. On Friday morning, I put my briefcase and bag in the kitchen. Joanna, I need to fly to Vegas to meet Alonzo. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We can still take the boat. Okay, have fun. See you tomorrow. And she kissed me on the cheek. I got out but stopped after 2 blocks. About an hour later, Joanna came out. Roger wrote that she got onto the highway, heading towards the beach house. I entered the house and collected the rest of my clothes. I had already rented a storage box using my new alias and filled it with things I wanted to keep. Joanna was so busy with Charlie that she didn't notice. My conversation with Tim Stark's wife went quite well. I sent her a video of her husband with Joanna. She agreed to wait until Saturday to meet Tim. It was already dark when I got to the beach house. I put on my mask because I knew Roger still had his surveillance equipment inside. I didn't want to make the police's job too easy. They can blame me, but why do they need gift wrapping? Going inside, I found the lovers in the bedroom, naked but fast asleep. After dragging a kitchen chair into the bedroom, I propped Charlie up and then taped him into a sitting position. His arms and legs were of no use to him now. It was easier with Joanna. I used handcuffs from a sex shop to tie her wrists to the headboard of the bed. I stuffed Joanna's mouth with Charlie's boxers. I used Joanna's bra and panties to do the same to Charlie. I wasn't sure how long it would be before they came to their senses. Every half hour or so, I would hit them in the face to gauge how close we were getting. I was a little worried because the guests were expected to arrive around 2 a.m. It was already about 1 in the morning when the fun began. Turning my back to Roger's camera, I took off my mask. The fear in their eyes was perfect as I hit each one to make sure we were ready. Good morning, lovebirds. I received a video that shows you 2 were thinking of killing me this weekend. Well, that won't happen. Now you both will suffer. Asshole, did you know she had sex with Tim Stark too? Charlie stared at Joanna. Apparently, he thought they were dating exclusively. Tim also rented a motorboat for Saturday. Maybe there should be 2 corpses floating in the harbor. Well, I'm not sure either of you will be setting sail tomorrow. Let me tell you a little story. I spent the next 15 minutes telling them about the arrest and trial of the Hendricks twins. I read the police report which detailed the heinous acts their victims suffered. Both grunted. It sounded like, "Please don't do this. Now you don't have to worry about me. I am not going to do to you any of the disgusting and painful things that the twins did to these 4 people. I'm going to leave here in a few minutes." You could see them relax a little, but then they learned the truth. The reason I told you this story is because I invited these bullies. I'll leave the front door unlocked for them. You two have some fun with the boys, okay? I know that I have never seen such fear in a person's eyes. Charlie's eyes were wild, and Joanna looked very scared. Their inevitable death was approaching. They both started begging and tears started flowing. Even through their duct-taped mouths, I could recognize their pleas. "Sorry, I don't understand anything you're saying. I have to run." Ta. Have a nice life, lovebirds." After putting on my mask and quickly exiting the back door, I headed to the airport. I parked my car in the airport's short-term parking lot and put on a fake mustache, dark glasses, and a baseball cap. The shuttle only runs every half hour in the middle of the night, so I waited. After the shuttle dropped me off at the terminal, I found the restroom and shaved my head. After removing my first disguise, I put on another hat and shirt and left the terminal. I stopped a taxi and asked him to take me to the pier. I paid for everything in cash. The final preparations on the yacht went smoothly. The sky in the east began to glow. When Natasha arrived, she had a suitcase, a backpack, and a bag of steaming coffee cups. "Have you shaved?" "New life, new man, new woman, ready to set sail?" Yes, Captain." Slowly making our way through the maze of boats, we found open water and raced away. I was updating the magazine when a naked Natalie appeared in the galley. I lost count of how many times I came to the finish line over the next 48 hours. We talked a lot. She worked for an insurance company, had an affair, and her husband divorced her. She wanted to save the marriage, but her husband and children disowned her. Good for me, I guess. She was a skilled lover. I didn't complain. It was only on Monday, around noon, that we entered the first port. I quickly found a Wi-Fi hotspot and checked the news. The Hendricks twins have been detained again. The couple was found around noon on Saturday. The twins subjected them to unspeakable torture. Who said that? I have no conscience. I told Roger to tip anonymously. He called the fire department and said they would need 2 ambulances to check the beach house. They must alert the police as well as any kidnappers who may be there. I enjoy it. The first thing I did was change the name of my yacht to Burning Desires. Natalie and I hopped from port to port along the west coast. She stayed with me 12 weeks before the lure of the sea disappeared. However, she was exactly what I needed to get over Joanna. There are so many women willing to trade their forbidden pleasures for swimming. After spending a few more months in the south, I moved the yacht through Panama. One day, while swimming in the bay, I sailed to the Bahamas. So far, I have enjoyed the talents of 5 women. KJ, the last one, has been working for me for 10 months. She is a very energetic Latina with beautiful black eyes. I know I'm marked. The IRS wants to cut the sale of my company, and I doubt that our tax returns were filed on time and correctly. The sheriff would like to talk to me, too. Thanks to Roger's surveillance video, the Hendricks twins were convicted in a retrial of the beach house attack and sentenced to life in prison. They're already serving life sentences, so it doesn't bother me. I don't know why Joanna and Charlie were never charged with plotting to kill me. I keep in touch with my children. They describe Joanna's injuries as brutal. She still lived in the same house, but her money was severely depleted by hospitals and plastic surgeons. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.